Welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here with Alan Cross, a noted broadcaster and musical expert. Alan, you were talking about, I guess what you're talking about is artists using artificial intelligence, or their estates, I suppose, to not create completely new compositions, but things that can be altered positively to create something new for the audience. So that all sounds well and good. Can we get into some of the downsides that you see with artificial intelligence in music?
Sure. Let's go back to what I said earlier when I say that artificial intelligence is only as good as the material that it learns from, which is all the songs that you feed into it. Artificial intelligence is not humanity, it is mimicry. It, like I say, takes all those data points and creates something it thinks sounds like those data points. Now, my concern is that people will start using this technology as a crutch. They will just feed in all this stuff and something will come out and, yay, that's good enough. And if we begin feeding the general public with that, I worry that things are going to get dumbed down. Things are going to get stagnant. The humanity is going to be squeezed out of popular music. Now, there were many other uses for this. For example, production music, maybe scoring films or narrations or something like that. Absolutely, where the music is not front and center. However, if anybody decides that they're going to try and make an artificial intelligence pop star or rock star or country star, I do worry about what could possibly happen to the quality of music. Now, on the flip side of that, if you are a composer and you get stuck, you run into writer's block, maybe, you put something into an artificial intelligence program, it spits something out at you and you go, oh, hey, I never thought of that. And then you riff on that and that becomes a new piece of music. So those are two things that I think we need to be watching for. This is a tool, but it can also be, the idiocracy in waiting.
Yeah, well, it never. Human beings can be using tools for good things or bad things since the dawn of humanity. So you're right about that. If you're a creator or you're a performer, tell us how creators and performers are reacting to the advent of AI at present.
Well, there are some that are aghast. They're saying that this is Skynet. This is something that's going to take away jobs. This is something that is against the very idea of art. However, I saw a survey the other day. 27% of independent artists in the United States are already using some kind of artificial intelligence supplementation to whatever it is that they're doing. So, like I say, they're using it as a tool. Now, how that tool evolves depends on, human beings. When we first got sampling, we had no idea that sampling would result in a whole new genre called hip hop.
Or even the drum. You mentioned the drum machines in one of your articles too about
drum machines. That was another one. Drummers were in the early part of the 1980s, the Musicians Union in the UK wanted to outlaw synthesizers because that was putting, actual human being musicians out of jobs. The drum machine came along. Drummers were very concerned. But again, what we ended up with were a number of very spectacular tools that ended up advancing the art of music. It's very possible that AI will do this, but we have to be very careful with it because we don't want to start relying on it to give us something to work from or to be the underpinning, the foundation of a new creation.
Exactly. What do you see as some of the intellectual property implications?
Well, if I use artificial intelligence or ask artificial intelligence to write me a song and it does, who owns the copyright on that? Is it me? Is it the person who created the program? Is it the AI program itself? In Canada, you have to be a human being. In the United States, they've recently looked at this, and it's like, no, you got to be a human being to own copyright. But I mean, there are many, many territories around the world that are going to have to grapple with this. When you, for example, submit a song to the Grammy Awards, and let's just say that there's a portion or two of the song that was created by artificial intelligence. Well, does that make the song ineligible in any way, shape, or form? And the Grammys are wrestling with this. They've said, no, it has to be created by a human. But again, if it gets really good, how are you going to tell?
Right. right? And of course, the marketplace is going to decide the relative value of some of these creations. It's not going to be the board of directors of the Grammys or whomever. So we're going to continue our conversation with Alan Cross. Of course, he's a noted radio broadcaster and thinker about music in Canada. We'll take a few message breaks. We'll be back after those breaks. Please stay with us.